Hello and welcome to my channel. This is my first video. So in this video I thought I would talk about myself a little bit, a bit of a get to know me, and also talk about some of my standalone recommendations. I think I'm just gonna jump right into them. So the first one I have is The Way I Used to Be. Now I do know that this one has a sequel, and I tried to pick books that are like completely just standalones because I know a lot of people, or at least myself, don't like to go into a standalone knowing it's an interconnected series because then you feel like obligated to read them, or what if you like it and now you're stuck reading a series. But this one can really be read as a standalone. I read it a couple years ago. I don't even want to pick up the next one. I think the message in this one alone was enough. So a little bit about this one. It is about a girl who gets assaulted by her brother's best friend, and it is sexual assault. And it goes through the 4 years of high school where she's coping with it. And at points I was very frustrated in the story and with her actions, and I was getting mad at her. And I took a pause from the book and I came back a couple months later and I realized that those were just my internal thoughts and opinions on why is she like reacting and having outbursts and things like this and changing her whole personality. But at the same, like, she was going through trauma, and it was so realistic that it actually ended up like being so memorable and so good to me that I read this 5 or 6 years ago and I still think about it. The next book is a romance. So it's Archer's Voice, and I believe a lot of people have heard about this one. It had its time for being popular. It is about Archer and I don't remember her name. Bree. And she, I think, moves to town and meets him and starts to pull him out of his shell and gets to know him and gets to know the guy that everybody in town didn't talk to and thought was weird and everything like that. And we see a lot of character growth, and it's really cute just watching them both grow and change and getting to know each other and becoming new people with each other as well. It was emotional, a little bit sad. I don't like to walk into books knowing that I'm going to cry, but if I do cry, I'm a really big crier. I usually cry at like majority of the books that I read. That's different than me like walking in. Like when people are, even with like sad movies, when someone tells me, oh, it's like a sad movie, like this happens or it's gonna be sad, like I won't watch it. I don't want to know that it's going to be sad. Or, well, I do want to know because then I won't watch it, but I don't like to watch sad things because I'm already so emotional. I'm probably gonna cry at something happy, so I rather cry at something happy than something sad. But it was a really good story. The next one is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. This one, she is the queen of slow burn. I love a slow burn, and I don't read too many. And like the ones that I read that are marketed as slow burn, like usually halfway through the book, they're already like kissing and touching and everything. This one, like you get like this much at the end, like nothing. Like the whole book is like torture of like, are they actually going to be together? And it's so good, like so good, because she draws you in and makes you really want to like get to the ending and like know if they're going to be together and how they end up being together and everything. So this one is about Aurora and Tobias. And Tobias is living in a house with his son, and he goes away, I forget why, and his son decides to rent out like an apartment attached to their house, or a garage apartment or something like that. And Aurora comes and lives there, and then all of a sudden Tobias is like, why are you here? And she was like, I'm renting it. And he's like, not for me, like I didn't do that. And so he wants her gone, and she's like, well, I have nowhere to go. So she ends up staying and like tries to find somewhere else to leave, and then like ends up staying, and things grow from there, and they all get to know each other. Again, it's another one where everybody like just pulls each other out of their shells and gets to know each other, and like there's so much like personal growth and like relationship growth even between like Aurora and Tobias's son, and Tobias and his son, and the son in general. And it's such a great story of just like found family, and just like, well, not necessarily found family, but like the son like getting more like family and everything like that as well. The next one is moving a little bit more into like taboo stories, still romance, but it's Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I love Penelope Douglas. Penelope Douglas is probably one of my favorite authors. I love a good taboo story. I like when I actually don't know what's gonna happen a little bit, or when it's out of the norm. Like sometimes with romance, it's all the same and it can get a little bit boring for me. Like I do love them, I have so many of them, but I like to have something a little bit different. So Birthday Girl is about Jordan, who is dating someone, and I don't remember his name. And he goes, I think, and spends her money or something. They just end up not having money, and they have to go and move in with her boyfriend's dad, who is Pike. And during this time, Pike and Jordan start to get a relationship of just like getting to know each other and becoming close. And then something happens, and Jordan and Pike end up getting to know each other a little bit more. It is a spicy book, and it is a boyfriend's dad, older man age gap romance. I love it. I think it's written so well, and yeah, I think it's just done so well. And like I said, I love a taboo romance. I like something a little bit out of the norm. Sometimes it just adds to the story. It gives a little something more to look forward to. The next one is also by Penelope Douglas. I own every single one of Penelope Douglas' books in physical copy, except for Punk 57, because I bought it on my Kindle when I was more into reading on my Kindle. And then the new cover came out and I don't like it, and I just haven't gotten around to buying it. But this one is Misconduct. So it is about, I think it's a bit of an age gap as well. And we have Easton, who is the girl, and Tyler, who is the male main character. And Tyler's son is, well, I guess Easton is Tyler's son's teacher. And so it's a teacher romance, but it's a teacher and like a student's parent. So it's not like as out of pocket where it's like a student teacher romance or professor student romance. But he, I believe, is like a politician as well. So it's like fooling around with like his son's teacher is still like a big no. And because it is a bit of an age gap, like she is younger, so it is still a little bit of a forbidden romance. And I don't know much else if there is. It's just them trying to see each other, but they can't see each other because of like those reasons of her being the teacher and him being a politician. And the son, I do like books as well that have like a bit of like a child or something like it, like the Mariana Zapata one, where it's not just you're like listening to the conversations between the male main character and the female main character. You also have like a child's opinion and stuff like that that are like interfering with the story, and like them having to work around like, does the child even want you in the life or not? So that one's pretty interesting. And then we go into a bit more darker romance. So this one is Manic by Amo Jones. This one was not my favorite of her books. I've also gone out of dark romance. I used to be a really big dark romance reader, and I don't pick them up in the past like 2 years. They just have not been my thing. But when I was into them, I was reading this one. So this one is about Beatrice and what's his name? Beat? Is that his name? Manic? Oh, they might just go by the nicknames. I don't remember. But he, I believe, is kind of in like the mafia, but not really in the mafia. I don't remember, and like kind of trying to get out of it. I think he's been sent to kill her. Honestly, I don't really remember this one. I haven't touched it in years. I just know that I really liked Amo Jones' writing, and it was good. at the time. Really spicy, a bit of mafia. Anyways, I believe he doesn't end up killing her and like starts liking her, and they like talk and get to know each other or stuff. And oh, the one reason I really didn't like it is there was just like this one scene that was a little bit like not consensual, not between the male main character and the female main character, but between the male main character and these other people, because his dad was forcing him to do something. And I just was like, he was like, you're just like becoming too soft and I need you to be like more manic and like the bad guy. I don't even know. I don't really remember, but I didn't like that. I would still recommend it for people who like dark romance, I think. I don't know. I just added it in. Try it, read the description, see if you like it. But yeah, it's an option. This one's not as dark, just a little bit darker than like a normal contemporary romance. This one is about Troy, the male main character, and Sparrow, the female main character, and he is not like the mafia, but he gets like hired, I think, by like rich people or just like people, and he's almost like a hitman kind of, I believe, but like he works for himself. I'm trying to remember. Again, I haven't read like darker books in a while, so I haven't read this in a couple years. But I actually don't even remember. Oh, but then he kidnapped me, so I guess like kidnapping? I think it's an arranged marriage. Oh, this one's an arranged marriage. I love an arranged marriage. I love when you're forced to be together. Any like forced proximity, arranged marriage, fake dating, when they're forced to be around each other and get to know each other and anything like that. It's like, maybe it's because like I need someone to be like forced to be with me for me to talk to someone. I don't know. But yeah, that's what this one is. And I love an arranged marriage, and it's pretty short. It's not long. And this one is not an interconnected series, but there is a series, and the one book follows their child, so you can continue this one, but this specifically is a standalone, which is really nice. Then we go into Verity, Colleen Hoover. I am not a Colleen Hoover fan. I ended up getting rid of all of my Colleen Hoover books, and I had only had 3 other than this one, and I just not like her. I don't know, she's a bit more contemporary than romance, and I like more romance. And the ones that I read were okay. I did read the one that they're making a movie of. They're also making a movie of Verity, but the other one that they're making a movie of, I can't remember it. What's like remember something. Yeah, I did kind of enjoy that one. I enjoyed it for the fact that it wasn't just like a romance between like 2 characters, but it followed like a mother romance and a daughter's romance and like loss and everything like that. I don't really remember if I liked her writing or the way she went about it, but I liked that it was something different. Like there are things about Colleen Hoover that I do enjoy, but yeah, I never continued reading her stuff after that. Though Verity, completely different. She needs to write more stuff like this, because I probably would pick it up. I sat in one sitting. I've only done that, I think, with maybe like 1 or 2 other books, and I can't even remember what they were, for 6.5 hours. I'm a bit of a slow reader. I don't know if that's slow. I read about like 50 pages in an hour, so it's not that long. One sitting, also at night, so I kind of was like freaking myself out a little bit about it. I think I got up to like eat once, and it was so good. So good. Like, I don't even want to like share anything, because if you haven't heard about it, and I know a lot of people have, especially because they're making a movie and because Colleen Hoover is so big, but if you haven't heard about anything, like go into this blind with maybe only hearing about what the blurb says. And that's like Lowen, she ends up going to, I don't even know his name, Jeremy's house to finish writing a book that his wife was writing. So she winds up just like being in this man's house, and he has, I think, like a child. Yeah, honestly, other than that, like if you don't know anything else about it, you shouldn't know anything else about it, because the plot twist and thing, I don't know why Colleen Hoover doesn't write more stuff like this. It was so good. It was so good. I didn't know it. Like, I was a little bit disgusted. I was shocked. It was so good. I have nothing else to say, and I'm not even a big fan of Colleen Hoover, and I loved it. and I'll probably keep it on my shelf forever. Then switching over into fantasy, I have Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wong, and this is a newer book. It's very pretty. I don't think there's anything else inside of it. No, but the map is pretty cool. And this one took me a long time to read. It is a bit more out of my normal reading tastes, but it was getting such high reviews, and like every so often I like to read something a little bit different. I've read a couple classics, I read a couple self-help, poetry, just like regular fiction. I like to step out every so often, so this was my book at the time. It was still fantasy, but it wasn't like romance. It was more political, and like every fantasy book usually is a bit political, but it was very political. And it took me a long time to read. And so I ended with my rating of it being like 3 stars, I believe. And then I just sat for like 2 weeks straight, maybe 2 months. And I just thought about it almost on a daily. And I could not get it out of my brain because the ending, it was so good. It was so good. Now that I've like sat and thought about it, so good. The message, so good. Just, like I just can't stop thinking about it. And so, what is this one called? Sciona. I never know how to pronounce her name. And I forget his name. I think he goes by Thomas in the book. And so she is working, oh my god, can I even, kind of like she's kind of like an apprentice of this man, and men are the only ones who have like magic. Like I think women can like do a little bit of magic, but after that they start doing like more like womanly jobs and roles, but like she commits to it. And so she finally goes to she gets to be the first woman ever admitted into the High Magistracy at the University of Magics and Industry. And from there, being the first woman, she starts to learn a lot of things that aren't told to anybody. And at first she's like, okay, like maybe I start ignoring them. But then like she is given somebody to like help her out, who ends up being like Thomas, who is not like how do I explain it? He's from outside here. And outside here, there is a blight that kills the people. And so they come into the city. But when they're in the city, they're not treated the same. They become like very low working class, have not really any rights and stuff like that. Like they aren't living well. And so he ends up helping her out because he's a janitor who gets forced to help, or like picked on to help her. And they start discovering all these truths together. And so she starts getting mad at him because they're finding out secrets, and the secrets are things that are not good. And she wants to ignore them and just like continue and move on with her life because it's going to interfere with everything that she has been like trying to build and lead up to in her life. But it gets to a point where she's not really able to ignore these secrets anymore. And I think the rest is find out for yourself. I know that was a little vague. I feel like I am a little vague with my reviews or like synopsis that I can give. I think that a lot of people, like if it's not said in here, find out for yourself. I honestly like don't like being told too much about a book, and I'm not the best at explaining what happens in the book. Also, I forget it. I'm really bad. Like I kind of forget things after they happen, and the sad thing is I want to give so many recommendations because I have so many recommendations to give, but I forget things so quickly. Like I've had to look at the names, I've had to look at the names for every single character because I don't remember who they are. And just like the names of things, it's so hard to remember the names of things, and I could have prepped myself, but I'm living in the moment and we'll figure it out as we go together. The next ones are also fantasy, but they are more like YA fantasy. So the first one is Once Upon a Time, Red's Untold Tale, and this one is about Little Red Riding Hood. and it is based off the show Once Upon a Time's character, Little Red Riding Hood, so it might not follow the same story that everybody knows about Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, because every story is a little bit different, especially if it's a fairy tale. Everybody has their own take on it. It's pretty, well, it's just a small book in itself, but the words are pretty large, so it is a pretty fast read, even though it's not even that thick. It's a pretty quick read. And I was obsessed with Once Upon a Time when I was younger. I have a Once Upon a Time mug. I am still, like, I would still rewatch Once Upon a Time. I kind of love it. It's like if you're a fantasy person, like, that's giving you all the fantasy you need. And I love, like, Disney type things. So this one, Little Red Riding Hood, was my favorite character. And when I saw this, I immediately needed it. So I really can't, I don't know how to explain this without, like, spoiling it, because Red lives with her grandma, and it's kind of starting with the point that the wolf is in the village, and they're trying to figure out who the wolf is and trying to kill the wolf. And it's kind of just a story of Little Red Riding Hood, but every story has its own little twist, and figuring out the twist if you don't know the Once Upon a Time tale of it. And it's before, for Once Upon a Time, it is before she's kind of like introduced. So it's like in the show, when Snow comes and hides out and Red finds her, it's before that. So it's like her origin of like that, if you do know from the show. That's, again, a very vague explanation. I don't want to spoil. The thing is, I can't spoil the show or spoil the book, so it's like trying to like say from both parts. And then the other one, or my last one, is Lost in a Book, an enchanted original story, and it's about Beauty and the Beast. This one I loved. It follows like Belle, and like really there's no romance in it. It's not really about the Beast. It's about, I believe their names are Love and Death. So when Belle is at the castle, she goes into the library and she finds this book. And in this book, she gets transported into another world where there's love and death. And it's kind of like this game that she has to play. And I don't know if it's a spoiler. Yeah, she goes into the world of Nevermore, and is it real? And she must uncover truths about the book before she loses herself in it forever. So yeah, the Beast is not really mentioned at all. It's more just about a story about Belle, and I thought it was so cool. It's like, what is happening while Belle is in the castle? And I don't know how long Belle is actually in the castle. It's kind of like a vague, not told, like in the movies, like sometimes it seems like a couple days, sometimes it seems like a couple months. And I know that there's all those like Christmas special movies of like Belle being at the castle, so like how long was she there in captivity? But apparently it was like a while, because she found this book, and throughout a couple days or weeks or something like that, she kept going back to it. And yeah, she needed to see what would happen with that world. So those are all my recommendations. I'm hoping that if I keep making these videos, I don't know, this might be a one and done. I'm gonna like figure it out. I'm kind of camera shy, so this is a very big new thing for me. But I would love to make more videos. I've always wanted to for years, and I have so many recommendations and things to give. I think I have a list of like graphic novel recommendations, completed fantasy recommendations, just other fantasy recommendations, romance, completed story recommendations. I have a couple fiction. I have things that I want to read. I could do a couple videos of that, like separated by genre as well, because like I even have some classics that I want to get to, so I can say like that. I don't do too many, like I wouldn't do like pick books for my TBR to read, because I'm very like, I buy a book as I go. I don't have too many books that I own. I think I own like 5 books that I haven't read that I need to get to. And actually I think it's about 7, but I'm like reading 2 of them at this like point. So I don't have like too many books at a time. So for me to do like, oh, let's pick like books for my TBR, like I can't really do videos like that. What I could do is what books might I get to this month, and then I can just like mention a bunch and then like have my wrap up and we see what I read. Yeah, This is my first video. I don't have like a big plan. I don't know how many days a week I would be posting. I'm hoping like maybe like once. I'm pretty busy. I do work and I am a full-time student, so I have a busy schedule. So I'm gonna see if I like stick to this. Again, I've been wanting to make videos for forever, but I don't even have a setup. This is like, I have everything like balanced and a whole thing. I don't know how to edit videos, so this one is going in like one straight shot. If anybody ends up watching this video and has any opinions for me, any tips and tricks, please let me know. I probably won't get any comments, but if anybody comments, love, thank you so much. Even if there's one person who watches this, I appreciate you so much. If I get no views, I might still make a couple. Like, you always have to start off somewhere. Um, I know there's so many people oh my God, there's so many people that I watch. Like, it's so, just the book community is so great. And I've made some TikTok videos before and I've had people watch them and then I get scared and then I like stop making it. I'm like, because it's like people that I know watch them and are like, I don't know if anybody else is like that, but like if people in your life like find out that you're making videos, it like becomes like cringe. It's so embarrassing to be caught making videos, and I kind of want to get out of that because like who cares what other people think. I want to do this. I want to talk about books. It's like one of my biggest passions. I would just sit and read forever if I could, but unfortunately I didn't get into a job like that. Um But yeah, I have so many things. I have like 3 full bookshelves I want to like show as they grow. I just rearranged them, so I probably won't do a video like that, but I love to do rearranging videos. I rearrange my books quite often, so there might be a lot of videos like that. I would do like a bookshelf tour so you guys gonna know more of my taste than just these books alone. Um, there's so many things. I would love recommendations from other people as well, like Greek mythology, graphic novels, fantasy, romance. I love all of those types of things, so I'm always looking for recommendations. And yeah, that's just my last bit of a rant. And if anybody does end up watching this, I really hope you enjoyed. And I'm gonna try and plan to make more videos, so hopefully you come back and watch more. But thank you for watching.